Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and we are here for Deep Astrology. This is September, I don't even know where we're at. I think it's the 18th today. We're going to be looking through to the 24th of 2018. And this is the show where we take all the things that are happening in the cosmos and we take it to a deeper level. You know, we look not only at the charts, but we channel this information to you because it's definitely a time in which consciousness is expanding. And more importantly, taking a look at it from the astrology is so important to understand what's going on. And especially more than ever, as I'm sure people have been feeling the craziness in the universe that has really been going on. And that really leads into this week's show, which is the craziness that has been going on. I mean, there's been a lot of craziness. There's been a lot of intensity. But really, I think that the main focus has been trying to figure out how to put all these crazy pieces together and make life understood as far as these big forks in the road and which direction that you're going to take. The reason why I say that, of course, is this has been a lot of Capricorn energy, right? Saturn came direct weeks ago, and you know, we're at the in-between part where Pluto, which is in Capricorn, will be coming direct on September 30th at the end of this month. And this is also the last week of Chiron in Aries before it retrogrades back into Pisces. So there's a lot about this identity stuff going on. And the reason why is, one, you know, Capricorn is where we take our identity, where we take our life purpose. And so this is a major fork in the road for us, while at the same time, Mars, which of course is in shadow, it's been, you know, in this retrograde in 2018, and even bigger than that, it's been on top of the South Node. So there's been this really weird defragging of our identity. And more importantly, because it's been squaring Uranus since May, this has been, you know, months and months and months of just radical here, there, everywhere. What is a better part for me? What is a better world? What people are on the right path for in my life and are not on the same level? And this is, you know, finding tribes, finding people that are of the value, of the honor, of the respect in which that you are in your life. This is a big deal because this transit today is finishing. And I'm sure that you have really felt through the weekend and coming into this week, this really crazy energy and these really crazy feelings. Just because this Mars square Uranus has been pounding us. We have not felt Mars on the South Node in Aquarius square Uranus and Taurus in our lives. We've never felt that before. And this one has been very extreme because at the same time as we're trying to identify which world we go to, you know, what is a better place for us in the world, it's been in opposition, of course, to the North Node in Leo. This definition of our true self, our place that we feel connected in our heart. And it's been very difficult for us as we have so many forks in the road, and it feels like, you know, we're making some huge life decisions right now in our life. And it feels crazy because it feels like there's pieces all over the place and we really don't know exactly how they're all going to come together. You know, this can cause major freak out for people, Mars square Uranus, especially this many times. You got to remember that Mars, when it's in a year of retrograde, and when Mars is on the South Node, and when Mars is squaring Uranus, when you add all three of those aspects to just Mars itself, our identity, our ego is being crushed. It's being crushed. And especially in Aquarius, which is, I need to find a solution to a problem. I'm a radical genius. I can figure it out. Well, there's equations that don't have answers. There's equations that don't add up. You know, last week I used the analogy of, like, you know, trying to make in a laboratory aspirin for a headache and turning out with something like LSD. I mean, you never know where, you know, equations can end up. And we have been in a massive kind of freak out, crazy, neurotic identification process of, you know, where am I going? How am I going to get there? What is the right road? Because Saturn's demanding it. And especially, you know, this Saturn-Jupiter semi-square has been, you know, all these deep passions, all these deep wants, all these deep needs that have been really part of this fork in the road transit. And then when you add to boot Venus, which is the opposite energy of Mars in our identity, but our needs, our wants as far as what feels good in our life, our relationships, you know, our value systems, money. I mean, with this shadow period that's been going on with Venus, and Venus coming off the sextile to Saturn, there's been that aspect that came up. And this week, you know, Venus is starting to slow down, and if you go look at the horizon line, Venus is disappearing. It's not getting as bright because it's getting ready for the retrograde on October 5th, where for 40 days and 40 nights, Venus is going to go away, and we will be in the darkness of Venus. Venus will not be seen in the sky. And this is the goddess energy, and this is redirecting all of our relationships. This is redirecting all of our projects. This is redirecting all of our plans as far as what we're going to create, what we're going to manifest, and what we can truly attain. Remember that this has been also with the opposition to Uranus, which is in Taurus. So this has been some radical shifts, relationship-wise, project-wise, money-wise, that just almost in many ways has kind of blown us away. And you also need to remember that, you know, when it comes to this, like when you think about Virgo, we're in Virgo finishing this week. Mercury's in Virgo, and Mercury is finally going to catch up with the Sun in Virgo. What is Virgo? Virgo and Aquarius are very similar, just in different ways. They both want solutions. So we have Mars on the south node, right, squaring Uranus, trying to find solutions, but, you know, realizing that there's only maybe a couple solutions, and a lot of the other solutions don't make sense. The other is, you know, Virgo, which is more of a physical, kind of service-oriented, like, okay, like this puzzle piece needs to fit in, and let's figure out how to make it. And where do you think nervousness comes from, these two signs? And because they always are trying to figure out how to manifest and create and figure a problem and a solution out. So right now we're in a massive energy of how do I find solutions? What is the right place? How am I going to do this? And we could become overwhelmed. Our nervous system in many ways is freaking out. Our emotions, the moon is coming through all of the malefic planets this week. It's in Capricorn to start this week, then coming into Aquarius over the Mars shadow on the south node, squaring Uranus, and then it's coming into Pisces, where Neptune is, where all these outer planets are hanging out, right? I mean, this is definitely emotionally, too, at the same time, like, what the hell is going on? There's a lot of freak out. And also at the same time, a lot of, like, with Mars approaching the south node again with the square to Uranus, and with Venus as well, remember that even though they're not exactly squaring, they are squaring, and they're both in shadow. What the hell is going on? Like, am I losing my strength? Am I losing my identity? Am I losing my life? Am I going to lose everything? Am I going to lose who I am? Am I going to lose all these things? There becomes all this energy of, oh, am I going to lose it? If I got it? Ugh. And you got to remember that on the end of this weekend, we are coming into Mercury leaving its home sign of Virgo. Mercury has been flying as fast as it can. It's in Virgo, its home sign. It has been trailing 2 degrees a day. It's only been 2 weeks of Mercury Virgo, and it's gone this weekend. So it's a 2-week transit pretty much. And then it's going to come into Libra, where it's like, okay, let's try and find some peace. Well, what's squaring Libra right now? Oh, Saturn's right there. Boom. This can be like, peace is not easy to find. Difficult choices, difficult decisions to make in your life. And especially, what is Libra? It's relationships. Now let's go into the relationship talk more, because we've talked about this for months, especially with Mars and Aquarius bringing lots of people, lots of different situations. But now with Venus and Shadow and Scorpio needing desires and the more inner underworld feelings and sexual needs and our wants and desires. And now you've got, you know, Mercury coming into Libra, and then the Sun has the big equinox moment this weekend, where now we are changing seasons. We are changing into a whole nother form of astrology. In astrology, the equinoxes are major points. And the Sun is coming into its fall position, which means it's at its weakest point. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think, you know, wherever the Sun is, you know, like that Libra might be a great sign. Unfortunately, no. The Sun, the reason why we call it the fall in the season, the fall, is because the Sun is falling in Libra. And literally, things start to get ready to die, you know, and Scorpio, of course, that follows Libra is when everything starts to really die, and it's for sure fall, and it's really fixated on this kind of ending of the cycle. But the main thing is the Sun and Mercury are coming into a major square with Saturn coming into next week. And Saturn is in its home sign. It's dignified with a major square to the Sun, which is at fall position. I don't want people to start freaking out and thinking that this is going to get worse. Like, I don't want people to start to think that. Mars square Uranus is over Tuesday night into Wednesday. Done. We won't see that again. That was the third pass. This crazy neurotic energy, I'm not going to say that it's going to go away completely, but testing your strength, testing your ability to step forward through craziness has been the ultimate test. Seeing the people, the world, the craziness, and who aligns with what, and complicated situations that are very complicated, that are testing you and your ability to step forward and keep moving forward without the numbers, without the guidebook, without knowing exactly how to get through, and trusting your heart. Trusting that you have to still find love, that you still have to find love in this crazy neurotic world that it is, that you're in these crazy situations you're in. You still have to somehow laugh. You still have to find the love in no matter how crazy things might be or might seem. But thank God that transit's ending. And this week really is just the build-up for the equinox. But I haven't mentioned yet that the Sun also, when it comes into the equinox, and Mercury comes into Libra this weekend, it will oppose Chiron on its last days in Aries. Now, what does this mean? This is definitely going to be bringing up more relationship stuff than we have felt in a long time. And I know that this is something that a lot of people are feeling internally with a Venus approaching into Scorpio, getting ready to go retrograde. But for the fact that the Sun will be in Libra, Mercury will be in Libra, and this is all with squares to Saturn. But what does that mean? With Chiron in Aries, that's forming up a big, big T-square with Saturn at the point of the T-square, the fork in the road of the you in the life that feels like it's not exactly where it wants to be, and this feeling of connection, relationships that are they really on point with who I want to be and where my fork in the road is really going? This is a definite, choice point this weekend. Major. And also, just if you just take the Sun opposed Chiron in itself, this is us illuminating and seeing and having to confront, literally, issues with us, because Mars is especially in Aquarius on the South Node. These are strength, masculine, ego issues. That's what Chiron in Aries brings up to the extreme. And so when the Sun opposes this in its fall position, it kind of goes, well, I want to grab onto something, but oh man, I don't know if I have the strength to go on, so I want to try to leech on to something else, or leech on to another relationship, or leech on to something to get through this, because Saturn's T-square in this thing. And really, it's not about leeching. It's not about, being afraid. It's really about choosing your fork in the road and owning that motherfucker and just doing it. And it's not going to be easy, because at the end of the day, there's been so many emotions, there's been so much craziness that we have been affected by, that it almost feels like, it's easier for us to just back out. It's no coincidence that on the day of the equinox, the moon will be in Pisces getting ready to conjunct Neptune, where we emotionally are just over it. We want to leave. We want to just peace out of the planet right now. I'm over Earth. I'm over this. I'm over that. I can't deal. I can't. Yeah. Total Saturn tests, especially nobody on this planet, and I mean nobody on this planet, has been alive for Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Ever. Nobody alive that we know of. Last time was in the 1500s, right? 1517, 1518 was the last time Saturn and Pluto was in Capricorn. And you're starting to feel it for the first time in your life, which is these are major freaking roads. These are major forks in the road. And with Chiron retrograding back into Pisces next week, it's going to bring up all the soul shit. It's going to bring up all the things where we feel like we have been just given a shitty handbag and with no gifts in it. What the hell? Or a bad handout. When really this is us clearing our own subconscious issues with dealing with that feeling. That feeling is our own projection. That feeling is about learning that we have to ascend higher now, that we have to face these issues, that maybe if we don't have the algorithm, if things don't feel right, if they don't make sense, if they're not part of our heart, and they don't feel like they're on part of our path and they're restricting us from our path, I'll be honest, this is some harsh shit. Saturn teaches harsh spiritual reality. This is not, saging your house and, blessings in the corner energy. This is fucking real, intense shit. And I'm not going to lie to you and just try and float some, crap up your butt of like poopery. I know all the girls got that poopery spray. Us guys, trust me, we know the poopery smell means you pooped. Maybe you should have just pooped, and then we would have been like, oh, we don't know. But the second you put out the poopery, we know you just pooped. So I'm not going to give you that poopery right now and try and cover up the shit that's happening. But the truth is this moment right now is about strength, and not like ego strength and pushing hard, but the strength inside to say that you have not been given a shitty hand, that you have not been given a crappy deal, that you have, more importantly, not been given a crappy life, and that even deeper than that, that this world is not as crappy as you think or see it at the moment. That a lot of it is about choosing a new road. That a lot of it is about choosing the fork and which fork that's going to be. And sticking to that fork and knowing that it's part of your heart. That it's part of where you need to go. And with this Venus retrograde and all this relationship stuff, this is about choosing relationships. This is going to change the whole paradigm of relationships for the rest of our life. This next 3-month, 4-month cycle. This retrograde is not fucking around. This is clearing up the last 8 years of the last retrograde, and 8 years ago as well, Saturn was in Libra. Venus is clearing all that shit up. Jupiter cleared that last year, and Jupiter right now, 20 degrees this week, clearing up all the shit from 2014 into 2015, and even into, all the stuff that we've gone through of this feeling of a disconnect, of this feeling of not fully integrating the world, the relationships, the intensity of the things that we want in our life. This is the clearing zone, so of course it looks like a shit show. It looks like a shit show because at the end of the day, you know what it is? It's clearing the shit show out of our life that we have been holding on to subconsciously. That these are the things that have been holding us back from love. These are the things that have been holding us back from our destiny and the roads that we need to go on. So when you see a shit show like this, guess what? You should be excited because you know that at the other end of this shit show is the most amazing show you've ever seen in your life. And that's what 2018's been, because if you look at 2019, it is no joke. This is going to be the biggest Capricorn transit we've ever seen in our lives since the Renaissance. And if you want to actually do the actual math, the biggest load of Capricorn we've seen since 1284. And I've been saying that one for God knows how long. I'm going to just keep repeating myself. But you know what? We're experiencing stuff that, 800, 900 years ago, people were experiencing. Why do you think there was a dark age then? Because they didn't know how to even express, or even maybe they wanted to check out of the world. Who knows? I don't know. But the truth is, are you going to step into 2019 with that vibe and with that feeling and choosing a road in your life that you know is not right for you, that you know is not part of the true harmony in your life? Because how you're going to find harmony in your life and how you're going to find the reality that you want is going to be based off this big square to Saturn, this big T-square with Chiron in Aries. About really embracing who you really are, embracing what you really want, and not being afraid of it. This is like, the universe is not accepting shit in your life anymore. Accepting jobs, relationships, situations that you are not feeling connected in. If there is not a connection there, if there's something off there, if there's something that feels off and not fully integrated and not fully invested as much as you are, it's not there. And I'm going to take this one step deeper, since we're on deep astrology. And this is something that I've been talking about with people on my phones today. I've had a couple conversations with people about this today, because this is what came up. The dark, and I know, you know what, there's spiritual speakers out there and people who, say, if you think there's darkness out there, that's the only way there is darkness. There is fucking dark entities out there. There are freaking dark people. There are dark people, there are evil people, and they have brought secret fucking agents here to disrupt the light workers, and we are all seeing that shit right now in the world, in our personal lives. It's distractions. All the crazy stuff that's going on in your life is a distraction. If you look around, you're fine. Your light work, the direction you're on, but all these crazy evil distractions that seem like they're crazy and seem like they were everything you wanted and they didn't work out is the fucking master work of a fucking dark entity. This is what the dark is trying to do. They're trying to disrupt the light workers. They're trying to disrupt your happiness. And they're doing a fucking wonderful job of it because everybody's starting to believe in the collective consciousness that this place is fucked, that my life's fucked, this doesn't work good, this isn't great. Well, the truth is that you're not stepping up and being a true light worker anymore when you allow that shit into your fucking life. Sure, it's going to suck. Sure, you're going to have a night where you fucking want to sit at home and fucking bust it out crying or do whatever that you got to do. But the truth is if you fucking do that and you let it go and you step up and you look at the light and you look at the world and you see all the beauty and you look at that beautiful cat that just walked by, you pet your dog, you fucking say hi, what's up to the guy crossing the street when you're driving to work. There's a fucking beautiful world out there that the dark is fucking trying to fuck us up with. And all this shit that's going on right now is because that dark entity is hiding itself. Whether we look at the Bible, whether we look at all these things, you know what dark entities do? They come across as light workers that are perfect and that everything's all good and look at how beautiful. And they're very good at presenting the fucking energy to make it seem like they are perfect and there's nothing wrong and we are beautiful and we're great. That's the fucking devil. If it seems too good to be true and too perfect, and makes you feel guilty, and makes you feel like a shitbag, and doesn't give you all the fucking energy, you know that shit's dark. I know I might sound fucking crazy, but this is like what I have felt and what I've channeled and what has gone on this weekend building up into this week. And even if you look at just this whole year, there have been secret agents from the dark that have been implemented in everybody's lives. And that's why this relationship thing is fucking intense right now. Because this is clearing out massive relationship stuff. Because I've said this one a lot, and all my tour videos, by the way, they're out now. I'm going to promote those just so you all know. They're on theleoking.com. Click tour. I forgot what it is. I think I did Fate Tour. They're up. I just put them up tonight. That's why I'm up late tonight doing it, because it's time to bring it out and show everybody the truth. Because you know what the truth is? Saturn and Pluto, the last time they met together, was in 83. That transit hasn't finished yet. That transit hasn't fully conjuncted yet. In relationships, Saturn and Pluto, 84, 85, little bit 85, moved into Scorpio. The trust, the sex, the deep need. We have been in a 35-year cycle where everybody feels fucking not truly connected. Why do you think divorce rates are high? Why do you think every relationship feels weird? Why do you think fucking Tinder and all these relationships and all this marriage stuff and all these ideas in the paradigm of what a relationship is finally at a place where it's like, this shit is about to change? This is what it's about now. And this is about not bullshitting yourself anymore. This is about looking in the mirror and accepting who you are and not letting the dark, using old traditions, using all these things to kind of inhibit you and keep you in your own little closet and make you, when you look at this new fork in the road and this new turn that you're going to make in your life, say, fuck no, fuck you. I ain't going to go down that road because that ain't me. That is not who I really am. That's not who I am. No matter how much this South Node in Mars and Aquarius is trying to say to our egos, well, everybody wants me to go this way. It's probably better if I do this. This is about raw you, and do you even know how to listen to your soul and what it's fucking calling for and what it's totally desiring and needing? And are you going to feed it with that love that's in front of you in the world? Or are you going to just sit there and fucking say no and take the road that you know feels off? That you're afraid to step out of that box? You're afraid to step out? Mars square Uranus is the fear of stepping out of the box. Mars squares Uranus is fucking always, I don't know, it's a little too crazy. It's a little too crazy for me. I don't know if I should do this. And at the same token, yeah, it also is stepping into the crazy and being like, I better make sure that I'm in the crazy, but I don't get too crazy. But Mars and Uranus deal with identity and individuality, but also in how that works with the collective. And how does the collective and the identities of the unique souls we are going to work together if it's a bunch of people trying to be the same fucking way? How is that going to work? How is it going to work where everybody's the fucking same and we all become white with white shoes, white socks, white shirts, everything's just the same color, everybody says the same thing, everybody has a green juice in the morning, everybody fucking whatever it is, everybody just lives this one way, and then that's the collective. That's a really nice collective. I think Earth will look beautiful that way. The part about Earth that makes it so fucking awesome is that everybody's fucking unique, everybody's individual, everybody can be the way that they want to be. And that's what this Mars situation is. It's not ego, it's not projecting ego. It's just owning and realizing that there are fragmented parts of yourself that have been in a box by society, by the way that the world wants us to be, by the traditions of this Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn. With this Pluto sextiling Jupiter, this is a big moment in your life to just realize the truth and own who you are and take that on your fucking journey. And this is where we have to stop bitching and complaining about problems in our lives, because it's not external, it's internal, based off us not being authentic to who we are and putting ourselves in situations where we know it's not right, where we know those things aren't right for us, they don't feel the right way for us, they're not part of our fucking energy, and it's going to be a very small percent of energy that fucking really feels like it's on the vibe with you, and that's how you know that's the direction to go. Instead of like this huge amount of energy that feels like it's off, it doesn't feel right, I don't think I should do this, I don't think I should be in this, why would I fucking go down this road? But for some reason I'm getting pulled down here because society says so, my family says so, everybody else says so, the media says so, blah, 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 blah. All that shit that the moon's going to cover this week as we're coming into this equinox. And I know that I might sound like a fucking lunatic right now, but the truth is with all this energy coming into Libra, this equinox is not fucking around with an opposition to Chiron, that the wound and the issue with having peace is you not living you. You want peace? You got to live in you. You got to be who you really are. And you got to pick the road that seems like it's the hardest fucking road in your whole entire life to go on that direction. And it's not fucking easy. It's a rite of passage to the new earth. It is definitely not like what we've been told. Just sit around and chill out and just, you know, it'll be easy. Just sit in your room and play video games and just wait for it to go away. And you'll just get first class tickets right up. No. This is us clearing past life stuff. This is us clearing multi-dimensional stuff. To switch to a new dimension, we have to become the new dimension. That's what this Uranus square is. Are you going to step up to the new dimension, or are you going to let the new dimension or the old dimension define you? And that's what the dark wants. The dark wants the dimension to define you, not you to define the divine. It's funny, divine, but define the divide. This is Trigger City. Because when people come out with their truth, we live in a society today that if you look around on every street corner and everything, we are not allowed to be who we really want to be anymore at every part of the world. And that's the plan. Because control of society, you know how that comes? Not letting you live in you and making you afraid of it. And especially when it comes to your value systems, your desires, the relationships you choose, and these things that you deeply need, there is massive distractions. And a lot of people talk about the twin flame thing. I've never been on that train until lately when I know, because I know the astrology is coming, that this next 4-month transit here of how long Venus is going to be in Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio for a long time. Hope you guys are ready. Like, it's not going to just be like a little bit of Venus Scorpio. No, we're getting a huge fucking dose with Jupiter amplifying this spot, at least till November. So, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at this week, when this fork in the road is showing up in your life, are you going to back away from that when you're finally there? The train tracks are there. You're loading on the train because you're lost in thinking that peace will be through, you know, not getting what you want or trying to be, you know, there is parts of diplomacy that are needed at these times, but those parts of diplomacy do not need to go against who you are. So being diplomatic, being peaceful is very important. This is not a war about war. This is not a war about battling. But this is a battle for yourself inside of yourself and not taking the fork to the road that you know is of your true self and getting caught up in all the bullshit that has been going on all year, but especially these last 4-5 months when Mars was finishing in Capricorn, coming into shadow, coming into square with Uranus entering into Taurus, and all this stuff with the South Node here, getting lost in a crazy world where you get there and it's empty. And that emptiness is because you are sitting in a world where you are afraid to live in the courage of your heart. If there's any time in the world to follow your true courage, this is it. The North Node is leaving Leo soon. And with Saturn and Capricorn quincunxing this whole time period that we've been having the Mars retrograde and Mars, there's no coincidences saying, guess what? I will give you your dreams. I will give you the path of enlightenment, of love and the happiness. But if you're living in a world where you're trying to hold together broken pieces of glass that are disconnected and the pieces don't fit, and you know you're putting a fucking square peg in a round hole every day and trying to jam it in there like you're in some fucking porno, guess what? Ain't gonna work. Let's look at the charts. Today, everybody wonders what I drink now. I always try to pick a new little special drink. The drink is Vitamin Water Zero, Triple X. I like the sugar one, but for some reason, there was only a fucking zero. With Venus and Scorpio, I can say I do not like it. All right. I'm having a blast today, by the way, everybody. Blast. All right. And I actually really mean that. Because you know why? Even though we're about to look at all these charts and all that stuff and all the craziness that's going on in life, I'll be honest with you all. I saw nothing but a beautiful world through the craziness that's been going on. And I saw this beautiful road that we all have in front of us. And it's like the dark is trying everything it can right now. And you just have to just laugh and just not even acknowledge it anymore. And last night, I did a horoscope on future life, and I showed up. And you can ask people, probably in the chat room right here, I didn't know how to approach the horoscope because I felt so much, I don't even know what to say, whether it was emotion or intent. Like there was just so much like I knew that was coming, and I didn't know exactly yet what it was. And then it all dropped today with all these crazy things going on in life and all these people hitting me up. And there were hundreds of comments on the video on Future Life. And everybody, it was like, I get it now. This is like, if we're going to ascend, we need to define that ascension. We're not going to let this world define us anymore. And that's a south node Mars aspect, right? With this Rahu, this north node up in Leo, like we're going to define it from love the way that we want to. And we're not going to buy into this fake stuff. And we have to let go. We have to grieve. There is a life we are leaving. What makes this new part so hard about this new road in our life is the challenge of that detaching of emotion, because it's Capricorn. Capricorn is not emotion. That's in Cancer's world, the opposite sign. So guess what? The road that you pick that you know is right is when the emotions get tough and hard, because you know it's not going to be easy. But when you sit in safety and you sit in, I don't know, I won't take it, I'm going to just live in the emotions even though they're shitty, and I really don't want to feel this way, you're not going to get where you need to really go. And then you're just stuck in the same place. The world's becoming a prison. Okay, so I just ran this chart. It's a late night for us tonight. We've been kind of busy over here at High Vibe Studios and the Leo King Studios. It's been crazy. So the sun finishing here this week in Virgo, big thing for us to pay attention to, especially with Mercury going fast. Okay, Mercury's flying, right? Catching up with the sun. Trying to understand, especially because it's kind of like, it reminds me of in Alice in Wonderland when you've got the rabbit with the clock, right? And this whole, I'm late, trying to figure it all out, right? Like, oh my God, when is it gonna, hey, I got to go get this. That's Mercury going real fast to the sun, especially in Virgo. Oh my God. Now, when that happens, we start to try and freak out. I mean, look at this moon today that's been going on, right? It's been conjunct Pluto. This has been intense changes that are coming out of nowhere, and also feelings being exposed or truth being exposed. There's been a lot of exposing coming through this week. And of course, this sextile to Jupiter, which is ending, you know. Unfortunately, I do like this sextile. We did have it a couple times as the 3 pass this year, but this is over. Like, the doors are open. You've seen the doors that need to close. And that's why I'm saying there needs to be some sort of grieving process here emotionally, instead of the fear of facing the shifts and changes and deaths of our lives emotionally. That's the deal. It's like, learn to let go and grieve, and then don't become some fucking crazy person that like tries to act like there is nothing wrong. Like, this is about vulnerability. This is about authenticity. This is a time in our life to be pure. And purity is not a clear glass of water. Purity is a rusted bucket in the corner, just as much as a half-dead cockroach coming out of a fucking toilet. Like, that's what's real. So the people who are projecting right now perfection is the easiest way to know that they are not even close to it. Because the truth is right now, this is where we let our real shit out. We show our imperfections, and by doing that is how we clean ourselves and how we cleanse ourselves. I mean, in Christianity or Catholicism, I mean, it's where you do accept your sins and you do ask for release of those sins, that you do ask for the washing away of those sins. That's all what authenticity is. We're all not perfect. Remember, Virgo wants perfection as much as possible, wants to analytically figure it all out. It's hard at this time. Now, today was the official end of the Mars square Uranus. So 151, I drank that shit when I was young. I don't know how I got through those days. And then 154 as we're here at 7:38. Actually, it's about like 8:30 right now, or 9, you know, something like that, 8:40. So that's over, okay? That's done. But we're going to show in the week how we're not done with this. It's got to hit that south node, okay? We're going to talk about that. But at least this crazy upgrading that we know we must take, while Saturn, of course, 2 degrees direct, you know, it's gotten a little love from Venus, and it will get more love from Venus, but mainly it's getting ready, and you can see that's the only quincunx right now, to the north node in Leo, to follow your true heart and courage to the path in which you know is really you, to get where you need to go. Remember, this is the galactic center over here, okay? In this zone right here, okay? And this is Saturn leaving this zone, okay? Saturn entered here, of course, the galactic center point at the end of November, basically. If we kind of, you got to remember, Saturn is the second biggest planet, okay? Huge planet. So yes, I know there's exact degrees, whether you look at it as 26 degrees Sagittarius is the galactic center, or, you know, in my opinion, I kind of look at it more of like a tropical thing. Like, I think it's 29 to 0 Capricorn. That's just how I am, because I think that it's the zone of like the connector point of Jupiter, Saturn, right? But the fact that Saturn's leaving this galactic center zone, because I would give it a wide band. I'd give it a band from probably 4 or 5 degrees of Capricorn to like 25 degrees of Sag, something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's the band, okay? Now that's me and my own astrology. That's what I believe. You know, you can probably hear other stories everywhere else. But the fact that Saturn's leaving the galactic center point for 30 years, I mean, if you want like crazy math, I don't know, maybe it's 28 years and like 9 months or something. But the fact that, let's round it up, 30 years. Like, do you want to wait 30 years for the next big fork on the road of your galactic mission? Or do you just want to, like, stick to the sidelines? Interesting question. I'm not going to answer it for you, though. September 19th. This is the big deal. Mars, the moon, and the south node. All right, so just be prepared for some more of this crazy zing and weird shit that's going on Wednesday. I'm not going to lie to you, because the moon's going to cover it. And even though the square is technically over by degree, the truth is it's still within less than 1/4 of a degree away. And the moon is on top of it to activate this aspect extremely. And then the moon's going to come on the south node, which causes craziness. I mean, I'm going to be real. Whenever the moon and the south node meet, especially in Aquarius, we've been seeing some of the craziest stuff ever. And with Mars here and this finishing, this is the beginnings of this, you know, real finalization. And I would give it this week. This is the whole week, because the moon's going to be the second part of this whole story, emotionally trying to tap into this. And it's not like the moon's exactly happy. It's squaring Uranus, and, you know, they would both rather be in the other sign. Like, the moon would rather be in Taurus, and Uranus would rather be in Aquarius, its home sign. But they're both squaring in that position. So you have this dichotomy here where they're not happy at each other. They're like looking at each other like, I wish I was over there. No, I wish I was over there. You know, like there's no emotional grounding. And then Uranus is like, well, it's so much thick shit. I don't know how to break it all up. I don't know how to figure all this out. There's just so many layers. Oh my God. There's no air here. It's all earth. There's going to be a lot of breakthroughs and a lot of weird shit still going through this week. So just don't think it's all like over and okay, whatever. Be prepared with your armor for more distractions that are pulling you off your path. And I'm going to say this one more time, especially because if we look at this Aquarian stuff with the South Node, I'm going to say something so crazy that people might think I'm fucking insane forever, but I don't care. This is the weird alien, dark, secret agents coming in, like, and showing themselves everywhere. They've all been implanted in light workers' worlds and causing you disruption and chaos and getting you off track. This is where you need to be aware and not start attaching your emotions to aliens. Some people think, what are aliens? Whether that's an immigrant or whether that's an alien up in space. Aliens are an unidentified person, place or thing or species, whatever. But this comes from another dimension and world. And when you look at this square here, bam, and then when you look at Venus, which is at 6 degrees, squaring this, I mean, we're talking about a major T-square to this Mars, Uranus, Moon, South Node. So the craziness definitely kind of peaks up there. And Mercury's now only within a degree of the sun, catching up to try and understand all this stuff. Now it does trine, but definitely not within sign. And of course, the nodes create this cross, right? So, you know, we are boxed in finding our true self. And the only way out is this Leo energy, which is like, God, you know, I'll be honest with you all. Like, if you guys all thought I was authentic for the last year and everything, like, I have not been a Leo the way I should be. And if there's the reason why, like, this time I feel is so important is because we all have to find the Leo within ourselves to get through this. You know what will make you happy. You know what will make you feel alive. Don't do anything anymore that doesn't make you feel loved and alive and happy and free and fun. Why even be in that kind of place with Venus and Scorpio, with relationships that aren't spiritually, emotionally, like deep, full connecting of all the universe and all the occult knowledge that you know? Uranus in Taurus that don't know how to vibrate and manifest at the levels that you know how to? And then with the Mars and South Node fucking are not from the same place that you know you're from. That are not from your soul tribe and family. And the way that they make these crazy dark entities, what they're doing is they're making people think that humans aren't, you know, that tribe's bad and that tribe's bad. But what they're doing is they're taking over, like in the Matrix, how they take over, the agents take over just unconscious people walking through, and then they fucking come into your life and they try and distract you, whether that's through romance or a business relationship or whatever, and present this perfect little picture, and then it doesn't all add up, and you're like, what the hell? Like, this isn't me, this isn't my tribe. Don't look at it as a human thing. Don't look at this as like, these are bad humans. Look at it as like these are unconscious humans that have been taken over by a dark force that are here to disrupt me, and I'm not on that path, and I'm switching to my fucking heart, and I'm switching to my place. And you can do that with love by just not going. We're in a world today where it's like you're an egomaniac if you say no. You're an egomaniac if you don't go along with the way that doesn't feel right to you. It's like, hello. If it doesn't feel right in your soul, that's the universe trying to speak with you. The universe probably wants you to go in a different direction, so follow that. That's not ego. That's God trying to speak to you. All right, we're almost done. So finally, on Thursday, the Sun and Mercury conjunct, okay? This is going to give us this holy cow moment. Like, okay, I see all the pieces now. Especially that Mars-Uranus is done with its square. Especially that, you know, that's moving on. The moon, get a square Venus, of course, but coming out of that stuff when we look at here. But really, I think this is one of the better days just because of the moon's coming out of that craziness. It will square the midpoint between Jupiter and Venus here. So that midpoint, so we have 14 is 7, add 7 is 6. So we're at what? 13 degrees. So 13 degrees. So when the moon hits 13 degrees, which at 2:37 p.m., about 6 hours. So at about 8:30 p.m. Pacific, 11:30 p.m. Eastern is where you could get caught up, you know, in a weird thing as you put all the pieces together. You need to see, like, is this all in my truth and what's not? Make a very big emotional understanding and put the pieces together and look at these deeper needs and wants and relationships and projects and people and these better visions and start to see it's a powerful square to that midpoint there, especially as both those planets are in shadow period as well. So I actually think that one of the better days is Thursday, even though, yes, I'm not as happy with the astrology as I'd want it to be, but I'll take this over all the other shit we've been going through, and I'll definitely take it with the moon out of Saturn, Pluto, and Mars, the three malefics, like, and with the South Node. Like, that's moon's moving away. Okay, okay. And even though it's going to square Venus and Jupiter, it's kind of like these are the two, you know, the better planets. So these are benefics. These are happier. But it's like, this is a week to not get into depression. This is a week to not get into, oh, I'm not getting what I want. Like a lot of it is like you just need to like go towards what you want, you know? Like create that road, go towards that road, and it will be there, you know? But also not fighting and putting your ego and trying to get things that don't maybe want you back, right? There's a dance with Scorpio. Scorpio's got a dance, you know? It's like we're either both fucking, without even talking, no, we're on the same page, whether we're going to both go together to war and win, whether we're both going to go have a fling in the bathroom, whatever, right? Scorpio has a dance that's fucking magical that you know without knowing. So with this moon square and with all this stuff here, it's like, if there's doubt, if there's just like, I don't know, do we? You already know. Especially with the Sun conjunct Mercury. Like this is the clearest point that we could try and get with the reality as much as we can. As much as we can. And the good news is, you know, the Sun and Venus semi-square is over that we were going through. That's finally over because Venus is slowed down, you know. And the last semi-square left really is the Neptune-Uranus one. Mars is out of that semi-square, okay? So some of these weirder energies are starting to kind of dissipate. I am saying, remember, that there is some crazy stuff this week, but by Thursday, that's definitely some better vibe. Now, we got to go to Friday because we still got the moon in Aquarius, but it is Mercury leaving Virgo and entering into Libra, okay? So we're going to have a two-part day on that day. And so Mercury leaving its home sign is definitely going to try and understand reality and go, well, okay, I'm going into where I have to weigh a lot of things out. And when Mercury moves into Libra on Friday, it will oppose Chiron exactly. So this is going to be, I think, kind of difficult for our headspace a little bit here, like in how we're thinking about how our reality is going to turn out peacefully and beautiful the way that we want to after all this crazy energy. And it is about just staying on the road that you know in your heart is what it is. And that, you know, that's what the ship is. The ship is knowing this is what I got to do. I might have to bite my tongue and deal with this situation, but I got to do it. That's where the peace will be. Sometimes we got to, and so but this is not about giving up your heart, giving up your true self. That's where I think people are getting stuck in, including myself at points lately. It's like, I'm like, what? Like, wait a minute here. Like, we can easily be, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know why my guides are showing me, but it's like, you know, a snake charmer, you know, like, come over here. It's like, why am I sitting here with a fucking snake charmer? Like, how did I get snake charmed into this shit? It's like, oh my gosh, like diplomacy is one thing and being peaceful and being gratitude. I lived in Hollywood for many years on the streets, like, and lived on Hollywood Boulevard. And like, there are snake charmers everywhere, not with snakes, but with, hey man, can you come over here? Can you give me a cigarette? Hey man, can you do this? Hey girl, hey bro, hey, can I have this? Hey, will you do this? Hey, right? I had to learn something. So with peace, I would say no, but then they would never stop, you know? So I came up with a little thing, and people fucking love it, and then some people might judge me, but I don't give a fuck because it's authentic. Every time somebody would come up to me in Hollywood and ask for something, after I saw them for months repeatedly, literally taking money from people, going behind the Chevron and smoking crack, so I'm like, I'm not going to feed your crack habit. So every time they'd fucking come up to me, you know what I'd say? I'd do this. This is my this is diplomacy with Capricorn in the square. I'd just go like that. I'd just go like that, and they would just go, oh, all right. I'm not saying that you gotta have to like physically do like anything like that. I'm just saying that your energy, you just say no, like So I just look at them like this. I'd just be like, cut off. No, you know, they thought I was fucking nuts. I had one of the homeless guys come up to me and be like, dude, man, like, that shit works. I was like, yeah, I know it does, because I'm taking my energy off. You think I'm slitting your throat? No, I'm turning my energy off to that. Ay, ay, ay. Mercury, Jupiter squaring. I mean, this week really is a lot of weird emotions. I'm going to be real with everybody and trying to figure out your reality with all that craziness that's going on and with the moon in so many weird angles this week. The moon is just not happy this week, okay? I'm going to be very honest with you all. So emotions are going to be very on the high level extreme, and we're in a very mentally driven time as the sun's finishing in Virgo, which is very mental, and with Mercury flying at its fastest and finally passing the sun, very mental, and then dropping into an intellectual sign of Libra, which is now really weighing everything out. So mind and emotion are definitely at a battle this week. And I think that risk-taking with Saturn here, especially with the trine to Uranus and Taurus, is about knowing what, your new value system's set at. That's going to be the most difficult thing, is like Uranus shows up in Taurus, comes into the grocery store, looks at all the products, you know what it says? That's too expensive, that's too cheap, that's not high priced enough, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait, what? And so when you look at your life, it's almost like you're not prepared for the universe to come in and be like, I know you think that thing's valuable. I know you think this relationship's valuable. You might think this is valuable. You think that car's valuable. You think this job's valuable. You think, no, it's not. Or maybe it goes, this is very valuable. Why haven't you been putting more value to that? And with Saturn in this trine, that one is finishing, by the way. Saturn and Uranus will not trine anymore. That trine's done. So this is the ending of that trine. Like, if you're going to take risks to what you know is a higher place and a new value system that you are realizing that's changed and different, and that came in this year, this spring and summer. So the truth is that at the end of the day, we are all at a position in our life where shit changed on us. The price changed. The price is not right anymore. And we're having to make the price right in our life. I can't even believe they sell Kias now for like fucking 80 grand or something. Or maybe it's Hyundai. Hyundai's now. Hyundai. But I guess they might be nice cars. I don't know. But, it's like, that's the world we're in, right? Like, it's like, whoa. Out of nowhere. Having to accept that new change in our own world. Now we're finishing with this last chart here, which is the equinox chart. So the equinox is, of course, when the sun comes to either 0 degrees of Libra or 0 degrees of Aries. And of course, it depends on what hemisphere you're at. So if you're up in the northern hemisphere, this is the fall equinox. If you're down there in Australia, South Africa, South America and everything, this is the spring equinox. So lucky people down under, have a great spring and summer. I didn't enjoy mine at all. I worked like a fucking, I went through all these crazy, all of us in the north went through just crazy shit. You're lucky you got to hunker down a little bit. Go enjoy this summer and this spring. But what is such a big deal about this? What do we have coming for the next 6 months? Because the truth is that the equinox chart is what defines the next 6 months. Now, we're not going to use the house system because I just don't really believe that. I mean, if I use universal time, I guess we could do that, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to look at the themes. The main theme that I see is the opposition to Chiron, okay? So peace through figuring out how to get out of these weird situations that we do not want to be defined by anymore, okay? These are complicated because it's going to take your own acceptance of the truth. And in Libra, the sun is at fall. It has a difficult time defining what it wants without some sort of verdict that needs to be done intellectually. And so this is the 6 months of like, should I really do this? Like, and with the big square that's beginning, of course, with Mercury to Saturn, the depression that can come off of, gosh, I know this is the road I have to take. And there's going to be some sort of discourse. What do I mean by discourse? Like, I'm going to have to confront, and I'm going to have to speak, and I'm going to have to say, and I'm going to have to imagine being a diplomat and going to a country like John Adams was during the Revolutionary War and telling the king, like, you're going to have to treat us like an independent nation now. I know we're at war with you, but, like, sorry, America is going to be a country. And King George, like, having to accept that, like, that's not a fun diplomacy act, okay? But that shit happened, and that shit happened, when Pluto was in Aquarius, but, the truth is like, we are going to be going through situations like that, like, where it's, like, uncomfortable to really see, like, hey, this is how it is. This is how I'm going to be. This is what's going down. And this is changing relationships dynamics forever because Venus is in shadow. And more important than that, Mars is on the south node. So look at that. Mars is approaching the south node during the equinox. Like, this is us reversing and changing our ego, our identity of how the world is and how we understand that world and letting go of what the world has defined us by. That is no longer who we are. That is no longer how we're going to be. And so this is a shift in how we identify our lives in this new world. The moon is in Pisces. Now, what the good news is it's trining over to Venus. So it's about that spiritual, deep need, feeling good, feeling the truth, feeling your spiritual self. We got Neptune, of course, which is close to the moon. Neptune is making, good aspects. Of course, it's still in, it's actually trining the exact midpoint of the Venus-Jupiter. Not exact. I think that midpoint now has moved, so 13. So it's half of 13. So 6.5. So you had 6 to 7. You get, 13.5. I mean, so at 13.5 degrees, Neptune's exactly trining the midpoint of Jupiter-Venus. That's good. There's so much good. But at the same time, it's just the difficulties of this Saturn. This is where it's at, owning and growing up to the real path of your real heart. And of course, Mars is now opposing the North Node, the direction in which we should go. So the best way to describe this would be like coming into this fall and coming into this weekend, it's like, okay, we're going towards our heart. We're going towards the path in which we know is true. It feels good. We're spiritually in the path. But Mars on the south node is, a bunch of people that are telling you, change course. What? You kind of look back like, I'm looking at I'm looking at my heart here. I'm looking at where I should go. But Mars is this ego thing. So whether that's our own ego going like, well, maybe I should change course and make it a little crazy, or maybe I should try and fix something that didn't work out. Maybe I could try one more time. This is the last time Mars is passing the south node, and oh my gosh, this is going to be people jumping back into unfixable situations. Especially when the sun comes into Libra, it's like, let's try and work it all out. But Chiron's in opposition in Aries going like, hey, motherfucker, I've been fucked over, right? Because Chiron got shot by fucking his own fucking team by another centaur and became mortal. It's like, dude, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't sacrifice and try in diplomacy for things and people and situations that you are not in alignment. It's from the dark side. I should start like Star Wars, the Leo King astrology drama movie. But anyway, that's what this is about. Don't let the distractions take you backwards. Fucking forward. Even if you have, because Mars, right? Mars is like fucking a big muscle warrior. It's like Troy, fucking Brad Pitt, like back there. Or it's a loud ass motherfucker, I guess like me, I guess you could say. Like in the back, just like, Don't let those distractions take you from your heart. That's where you know your peace is and your love, and you know what love is. And this is where the difficulty of, well, what is love? Okay, like sure, every person, friendship, lover, business partnerships, all these things with Sun and Libra now. This is about relationships. This is about connection. And this is a Venus shadow getting ready to go retrograde. This is a time where love, unfortunately, Leo starts with love of what it wants in itself first, and then it defines how that looks in Scorpio as far as how deep that goes, the taste of it, and the depth, and how you want it to look under the clothes. You know what I mean? Like that's where, or under the veil of things, like love is the complete cycle of astrology. That's why the sun and the moon are at the top in astrology, and all the planets fall down in the chart. And understanding that the sun and moon, the Leo Cancer vibration, and this is where the North Node is at and shifting, that this is our only way in our life to get out of this heavy, dense, and I've shown this to you guys before, I've shown you guys this, think of this as, Leo, Cancer, right? Virgo, Libra, Gemini, right? This is Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sag, Scorpio, and then Libra's right here. So I'm really bad at drawing. But anyway, so, this is the sun, this is the moon, this is Mercury, Mercury, this is Venus, Venus, this is Mars, Mars, this is Jupiter, Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter used to be Pisces ruler, it's Sag's ruler, Scorpio's Mars ruler, Aries Mars ruler, Venus Taurus ruler, Libra Venus, Mercury, Virgo, Gemini, Mercury, the sun and the moon, Leo, Cancer, and what's at the bottom? Saturn, Saturn. We are in the most densest shit ever right now with all the malefics in this area of Capricorn and with the Mars in Aquarius. So if you look at this polarity right now of where the eclipses are happening, they're digging up the most deep, dense shit and forcing us to go to the higher realms of positivity, love, and only you can define that by leaving these distracting, deeper, malefic, difficult, shitty situations that you're not feeling that are on your purpose, that they're not part of your true connection of spirit. And this is about the higher calling. So, I don't have the chart up, but Monday, we don't need to even put it up. Sun's fully in Libra, right? Because actually, the equinox happens Saturday night, West Coast, and pretty much Sunday morning, East Coast. But we start coming into the Sun-Saturn square on Monday, and when we come back on Deep Astrology next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about this full moon brewing. On the 20th, this full moon is gnarly. This full moon's gnarly. And, we should actually, I don't want to keep going because I got to go and I feel horrible for Craig back here. We've had one of those days. But I'll just show you really quick on here on Sunday. Or Monday, here it is. The full moon is Monday. Okay, look at that. The sun, the moon is going to be on Chiron, and it's going to exactly oppose the sun. The sun and the moon are going to square Saturn. Okay? Well, let me have some fun here for just 1 second. I forgot to add this, so hold on, there we go. Boom. Okay. So, boom. This is a major, major, major full moon. I know we've had major full moons and new moons this year. It's just not stopping. But this one is about the biggest fork in the road with Mars. Are you going to go backwards to the world that you know doesn't really connect with you? Are you going to step into emotionally this is how you have to heal yourself. This could feel like a big blow to your ego if you actually get caught up in a world that you don't want to be in. The other part of the ego blow is the fact that you have to take a hard road. And we still have this Uranus Neptune semi-square, but this full moon is not going to be easy. I mean, it's going to be hard because usually, a full moon kind of pulls us into that opposite space, even though where the sun's at. But the fact that Saturn right now, if you look at that full moon, is going to be the headpiece because it is in dignified position. The moon's not that great in Aries. Chiron's not great in Aries. The sun's not great in Libra. And so this square, in a full moon, and with Mars opposing the North Node, almost exact. And you got to add Uranus, right? Get the weird quincunx over to Uranus. You know what I mean? Get the weird, we got the trine to Mars. It's just about like making sure that you don't jump on the wrong train tracks. And that's up to you. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. Like, I ain't God. I ain't none of that shit. I'm just an astrologer, dude and ladies. So that's up to you. But you know deep in yourself, as you go through now and you go through this week, that you do not jump backwards onto a road of fixing a road you've tried to fix 1,000,000 times and it fucking is not equating. Unfortunately, the universe has a trash dump, which is Pisces, where we let go. And the main weirdest part about this whole part is the angles of this full moon to Pisces, really, and Neptune, is, I think, the most interesting, in my opinion, even though you don't see them because I don't have them on here. But also this Uranus-Neptune semi-square is kind of hidden, right? These are two outer planets. It's like, do not put yourself and think that you can actually fix a world in which is not truly a value. It's like trying to fix an old iPhone 3 and somehow make it to work in today's 4G LTE environment. Like, why keep trying? So, long story short, I'm going to show you guys something. Hold on one second before you put it up on screen. Let's make sure that I don't have anything crazy on my screens. I saw Alex Jones 2 weeks ago had tranny porn. I don't like trannies, by the way, porn-wise or anything like that. I don't have anything against trannies, but I don't watch tranny porn. But what I do watch, and we've watched a lot of it lately, is, so if you go to leoking.com, we finally got up the tour videos, the Fate train. So you can click on tour videos right here, or at the top, Fate tour. So you just click on tour videos. It'll take you to a page. Now in here, it's pretty cool at theleoking.com. All these videos you can purchase individually or purchase the pass and get access to all the 6 videos. It's weird. They make me choose years. They don't let me do infinity, so it's 10 years. I put it at 10 years. The price is half off if you get the pass. So if you buy the pass, you get all 6 videos. They're 90 minutes to 120 minutes long, but I think one of the videos is 90 and most of them are over like 100 minutes. Like they're all like a good 2 hours. There's one that's like an hour and a half. So each video is at least, but it's weird because when you go down here to look at it, you can look at Denver, Chicago, New York City, right? Like these are all going to be dealing with the stuff that you do. I definitely recommend doing, pushing it if you're on an iPad or something twice. The future of astrology, the future of finance and business, the future of the government when I was in DC, Nashville, the future of home and family, and then Dallas, which is the future of the future. So each video literally covers what's coming up here in the fall. I set these videos up to be presented now when the shit was gonna hit the fan, so you can understand where this is all going for all of 2019 in the future. And I really cover a lot of bases. In some videos though, you know, I'm gonna talk about some of the same things, but be putting them in different ways. So I really drill into your head what's going on. But if you want to individually buy, like maybe you only care about the future of relationships, right? Like that one, I'll be honest with you, that one is probably going to be the hottest ticket because that one was a really extreme fun show. The future of astrology is not the future of what charts look like and stuff. It's about aliens. It's about knowing how to use astrology to do your future better. New York City was, of course, the future of finance and business, cryptocurrency, the talk of the stock market, where businesses are going, new kinds of businesses, and how it applies to you in your spiritual life. It's definitely not just like generic shit. And then, of course, the future of the government. Where the fuck is all this politics going with all this stuff happening in DC, of course, and in the world with all the transits? So that one's pretty cool. And then Nashville, the future of the home and family. It goes much more than just your own home and family. It goes all the way into the whole spiritual community. Where the fuck is the home and family of the spiritual community? Why do you think the North Node is coming into Cancer? And I go into all the understanding of that and all the channeling and all the spirituality of that. And I'll let you know that parental control or parental advisories are advised. I did make the videos mature audiences only. You just have to type in your age. So I cuss a lot, I tell really dirty jokes, and then I get really intense spiritually. But it's at theleoking.com. Click on tour videos or Fate Tour, and it's all there. Finally got these videos up, and I have to thank the whole crew and everybody, you know, Craig, David, that really helped me out on this. Leanna, of course, helped me out. Rachel helped me out. There was a lot of people that really helped me out. The people at every event that were there to be there and support, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people part of these videos. Thank you for all being a part of it. And I can't wait. I've been waiting a long time to share these to you. This was blood, sweat, and tears. Five weeks on the road, sleeping on the road. I mean, crazy situation. This was blood, sweat, and tears, talking to crowds, talking to people in person, setting up the shows. It was a lot of work, and it was a lot of time. I got to thank, there's a lot of people to thank that I'm so blessed that these videos came out. This is, you know, in 2014 was my last US tour, and we got some videos, but there was only some clips, you know? And this time I finally got to get full show with multi-camera, professionally done, professional audio, and really blow people's minds with the future of what's coming here, individually, specifically based off where I pick cities and genres. So I'm excited about it. I want to thank you all for supporting me. I hope today, I know it was probably an intense, deep astrology, but we're here. I know it's gnarly times, and I hope you check out those videos. It really helped me out as far as continuing this business. You know, these are gnarly times, and to keep me on the air, to be honest with you, that's why these are up. So, and of course, Future Life, to watch your daily horoscopes. So thank you so much. I also do have readings available, so if you want to get a reading from me, please check that out as well. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all your support. Please share this video. Get it out there. Hopefully we can get people to just be themselves and just own it and not be afraid to be real. Love you all. See y'all later. Just like a jailbird or any kind of convict who lives in prison for 30 years and they get back out of the system, and the first thing they do is, and within a week, they're like, I want to find a way to get back in. I'm robbing the liquor store just to get in here. Catch me. Because they feel more comfortable going back to that prison. So part of the fear is
especially in the spiritual community, is this next 5 years, sure, it's spiritual, but the universe is bringing this to a place to where it's not so much about us gaining our spiritual consciousness as much as it was in the last 5 years, but how to make the world now fit with that inner world we just dealt with for 5 years. Because that inner world that we dealt with for 5 years didn't really show itself off in the world as much as we would all hope, if that makes sense. It's a lot of great conversations, it's a lot of great conferences, it's a lot of great YouTube video content. But of course, when you talk to your friend down the street, they're like, what? Are you going to show me one of those weird effing YouTube videos again? You know, then you start to become that person. You can only imagine in my own life, you know, it's like, oh, so what do you do for a living? I don't even say anything anymore, you know, because it's too hard to describe, right? But that's the whole thing of what's coming in this next 5 years is leaving that deep inner world that's been very misunderstood. And even I don't think any one of us can come out saying that we understand it completely still. That's, I think, a little bit of a head trip, right? Because it's like, that all really happened to me, and I really shifted so much. And I used to do conferences here at the LAX Hilton called the Conscious Life Expo. It's like America's largest conscious life expo, right? So I used to be a speaker here, and I've done many things here, and that's why I picked this event, because I was like, well, I've done some of my best presentations in my life here, so I might as well maybe come back here. Maybe there's something going on here. So that's why I picked the space, and I've never done one here at home, because I'm from LA. I live here. So, but during those events, I would meet people, and I'm not joking, this is during the last 5 years. I would like leave my spot, my talk, right? And there'd be like some random like guy being like, yeah, I'm from this planet or whatever, and giving me a piece of geometry in my hand of the weirdest thing, and then I'm like having a panic attack out on the street. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, there were so many weird things with understanding what a walk-in is. I don't know if you guys understand the term of walk-in. It's almost like we all, in a weird way, for those that have been aware, have gone through walk-in experiences in ourselves. I at first thought maybe it was only certain individuals trying to pump up their own spiritual ego, like, I'm a walk-in, right? Like, I came here from another planet, and you didn't. So, you know, it was a lot like that. I don't know if you guys have been kind of, I mean, this is kind of, you know, real deep spiritual stuff, but yeah, everywhere I'd go, it would kind of be like, oh yeah, I'm a walk-in. And then I started to think like, well, what is this experience that we've been all going through, right? I believe that what the last 5 years was that's bridging to this next 5 years is the actual collective conscious dark night of the soul. So we talked about individual dark nights of the souls that have been going on for the last 5 years all over the place, but nobody's talked about, well, was that a collective dark night of the soul?